Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling something really significant, I think. It's the whole emotional journey fathers go on when their daughters hit adolescence.
Right. It's a massive transformation, and, maybe one we don't talk about enough. It impacts everyone.
Exactly. It's not just about the teenager, is it? It's this whole shift in the relationship.
A fundamental evolution, yeah. These new kind of playbook almost.
Totally. And that's what we want to unpack for you today. So whether you're a dad going through it or a daughter trying to figure things out, or honestly just interested in how families tick.
We hope this gives you some real insights.
We're drawing on some solid stuff here. Insights from a family psychologist, Dr. Catherine Morgan. She's got like 15 plus years in this field.
And also some quite recent research out of the University of Michigan. They actually spoke to, over 300 fathers?
Yeah, 300 dads of teenage daughters. So the mission today isn't just scratching the surface.
No, we want to get into the real, psychological shift, the emotional currents underneath it all.
Okay, let's dive right in then. First point Dr. Morgan makes is about how fathers realize their daughter isn't a little girl anymore. It's usually not sudden.
No, not at all. It's more like a series of small things, subtle changes adding up, not one big aha moment.
Right. I read about one father, Alex. He described it really well, said it was like watching the tide slowly go out.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah, like noticing she needs more privacy, or her laugh changes somehow, or she just needs a bit more physical space. Little things.
And psychologically, that's a huge shift for the father's role, isn't it?
Yeah.
Moving from being the all-powerful protector.
Guy who fixes everything.
Yeah, exactly. To something, more complicated, maybe less certain. And that adjustment can be really challenging.
Which leads nicely into this thing the research calls the independence paradox. The feeling fathers get, it's kind of contradictory.
Oh, absolutely. You see this come up again and again. There was David, a dad of a 14-year-old in the study.
What did he say?
He talked about feeling, incredibly proud, watching her become her own person, developing her own views, finding her feet.
Yeah, you expect that.
But at the same time, he described it as feeling like a piece of his heart was kind of disappearing, and starting to wonder, where do I fit in now? Am I still needed in the same way?
Wow, that hits hard.
It really does. And that
Yes.
tension, that's the core of this paradox. Wanting them to fly, but also feeling that loss of the old connection. It's a real balancing act.
It sounds like a constant push and pull, that instinct to protect versus knowing you have to let them grow up.
Totally. Marcus, another father, he had 2 teenage daughters. He talked about the anxiety when his daughter goes out at night. Logically, he gets it. She needs freedom. But that gut feeling, that protective urge, it's still so strong. Worries about safety.
And apparently, this might be even tougher for dads. There's some research, Dr. Thompson's work, I think.
Yeah, suggesting that for many men, that protector role is just so deeply woven into their identity. So letting go feels particularly destabilizing, maybe.
Right. It connects back to maybe, older ideas about what dads do, the main protector. Makes it harder to step back.
Definitely. Stepping back often feels like you're entering uncharted territory.
Yeah, that's another big theme, isn't it? All these new issues popping up, things they just haven't dealt with before.
And the range is huge. Suddenly you're dealing with, menstruation, or really intense teenage emotions, identity questions, tricky social stuff.
Things they might feel totally clueless about. There was James, 47, he admitted he didn't know how to start certain conversations.
Yeah. Or what to say if she asked certain things. That feeling of, do I even understand the world anymore? It's a real vulnerability.
But the research found something interesting there. That fathers who actually admitted they were honest about not having all the answers, they often built deeper relationships.
That makes sense. That honesty, that vulnerability. It builds trust, doesn't it? Opens the door.
Now, speaking of uncharted territory, technology, social media, that's got huge ones.
Massive. It adds this whole other layer. Dr. Morgan calls it a kind of social space division.
Social space division.
Like a gap opens up. Dad's maybe not on the same platform, doesn't get the online language, the memes, the humor.
Right. Robert, 51, he talked about that. Seeing his daughter glued to her phone, laughing at stuff he just didn't get. Like they're on different planets sometimes.
But here's the twist.
Go on.
Technology doesn't have to be a divider. It can actually be a bridge.
How so?
Well, for fathers who make an effort, not to spy, but to genuinely try and understand her online world, her interests there.
They find new ways to connect.
Exactly. It shows you're interested in her whole world, not just the bits you understand easily.
That makes sense. Okay, another subtle shift. Physical communication. How dads and daughters interact physically as she gets older.
Yeah, this one's often really unconscious, very gradual. As daughters mature, the old ways of showing affection, like roughhousing or easy hugs, might start to feel different.
William, another dad, he talked about that, remembering all the easy physical closeness when she was little.
You know.
Now there's this uncertainty, a hesitation about what's okay, what feels right. It just wasn't there before.
And there's research at Oxford University, I think, on nonverbal cues. It suggests fathers might, often without realizing it, create a bit more physical distance. Respecting boundaries, probably.
But the daughter might read it differently.
That's the risk. She might see it as pulling away emotionally, like he doesn't care, which usually isn't true at all.
No, definitely not. And it's so important to remember, right, that the need for affection, for that connection, it doesn't go away.
In fact, studies consistently show that appropriate affection from dads is linked to really positive outcomes in relationships later on.
So the expression might need to change, but the love needs to still be shared.
Precisely. Which brings us to, okay, how do fathers navigate all this? How do they keep that connection strong?
What works?
Well, one big thing that seems to is about listening. Really listening. Thomas, again, he had this realization that his daughter often just needed him to hear her out, to validate his feelings, not jump in and immediately trying to fix the problem.
Even though that's the instinct, right?
Totally realistic. But just being present, acknowledging the emotion, without trying to solve it right away. Dr. Lisa Dunlap explains it builds huge trust. It helps the daughter
Makes sense. What else?
making dedicated time. That seemed crucial, like regular father-daughter only time.
Yeah, like Carlos, he had that father and daughter day thing.
Exactly. And the rules were simple but smart. No phones allowed. And they decided together what to do, just carving out that space.
Shows a relationship matters in the middle of busy lives.
Definitely. Now, it's easy to focus on the challenges, but this whole period, it could actually be really positive for the fathers, too.
Oh, really? How so?
Dr. Morgan highlights this. Fathers often experience quite profound personal growth themselves.
Like what?
Well, Peter, 49, he said his teenage daughter taught him more about emotions than anyone. Like, she could see what he was feeling, even when he couldn't quite put his finger on it.
Wow. So daughters teaching dads about feelings.
Yeah. And there's research backing this up. Family psychology studies show fathers and teen daughters often develop higher empathy, better emotional understanding, which helps all their relationships.
That's fascinating. Any other positives?
Sometimes seeing your daughter go through teens, it can actually help fathers process their own teenage stuff. Jonathan mentioned dealing with feelings of betrayal from his own youth.
Right, gives them a new perspective on their own past.
And another big one, increased awareness. Mark, 53, talked about how seeing the world through his daughter's eyes really opened his own eyes to things like gender equality, social issues.
So it broadens their horizon.
Absolutely. And Rutgers University found this too. Dads of teen daughters often become more aware of social issues, especially those impacting women. Their daughters bring it home.
Okay, so pulling all this together, what are the key takeaways? Practical advice for dads.
Well, I think the core idea is shifting the role, moving from being the main protector.
To more of an advisor, a supporter.
Yeah, exactly. A guide on the side. It's about adapting how you connect, not disconnect.
And showing real interest in her stuff, whatever she's passionate about.
Crucial, even if it's, K-pop or climate activism or something you know nothing about. Ask questions. Listen.
Create new rituals too, things that fit the older relationship.
Yes. Maybe grabbing coffee once a week or watching a certain show together. Something that acknowledges she's not 5 anymore.
And that balancing act again. Giving her space, but making sure she knows you're there.
Unwavering love and support. Even when she's pushing for independence, she needs that safety net.
Also, being willing to be vulnerable yourself, admitting mistakes.
Hugely powerful. It shows her it's okay not to be perfect. Builds massive respect.
And we shouldn't forget the long game here. This relationship, it has such a huge impact down the line.
Absolutely. Dr. Peggy Drexler's quote nails it. It's one of the most influential relationships in a daughter's life. Shapes her self-worth, her choices, everything.
So really, these teenage years, they aren't an ending.
Not at all. They're a transformation, a really significant one. It's about finding new ways to connect with the young woman she's becoming.
There was that quote from Richard, 54.
Ah, yeah, that was lovely. He said the love changes from, like, a simple love for a child.
To something more complex.
Deeper.
Yeah, a love and admiration for the actual person she's growing into.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
So maybe something for you to think about is just that the way parent-child relationships evolve and what unique gifts fathers bring to that journey, especially during these teenage years.
Definitely food for thought.
Yeah.
And worth exploring more if this resonates with you. Check out resources on adolescent psychology, family dynamics. Keep the conversation going.